Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. First Class Beggar opens our video today. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. How dare you lie to my son? Okay, so pretty much I needed to get money out last night from the ATM. Went to the bank, got my money out, and there was a family of 5 waiting by the corner of the street where the father flagged me down. I pulled up and this is how it went. Paul, fake name, father. M is me. Paul: how's it going? You think you could help us out? We're stuck here. I just need some money to get home on the bus. Me: well, I have some change here, maybe $1.50. You don't got cash? Sorry, I only have this change for you. At this point, I start picking up the change. Come on, man. How you gonna lie to my son like that? Excuse me? You just pulled out from the ATM. I know you got cash. I mean, yeah, I got cash, but I don't have any small bits for you, sorry. Come on, we need it more than you. You have a nice watch, a nice car that looks new. I'm sure you can afford to give him $50. $50? The bus fare's not that much, even for all of you. We have a long way home. Look, I can give you guys a ride home if you want. That way you don't have to spend any money. No, just give me some money, man. I'm not going to give you money, sorry. Seriously, you're making me look like a bad father here. At this point, I had enough and drove away. I feel bad for the kids, but the father clearly needed money for something else that wasn't bus fare. And our next story. Verbally abuse your coworkers and injure your trainee? Security will take care of you. Bit of background. I live in a mining town in the great land of moose, black bears, and poutine. Our town is surrounded by 3 different mining companies since our land is rich in precious metals. Basically, over half the people in our town work in these mines at some capacity, whether directly or as a contractor. I took a job in late November 2015, pre-COVID, as a janitor after leaving my security job because I found it too boring and wanted a job where the work is more active and the pay is a little better. First day on the job, training for the night shift, I was introduced to my coworker who we'll call Stickman. Stickman was an old guy in his late 60s, has a rather large bald spot on top of his head with gray hair that he ties up in a small ponytail, and wears those old 70s-looking sunglasses that he wears indoors and outdoors almost year-round. Don't ask why, because I don't know. It was obvious from the start that he didn't take to me very kindly and was rather cold to me throughout the day. Only ever spoke to me when he wanted to teach me something or do something. I made attempts to break the ice by starting a casual conversation or share one of my beverages, but no dice. He either ends the conversation quickly or doesn't answer me at all. Whatever, I tell myself. We'll be on opposite shifts anyway, so we'll be out of each other's way. The night shift was overwhelming. Every single night, first thing during a shift, I'd have to clean the men's dry, which is where the underground miners go and change into their work clothes, hang their wet clothes, and shower after each shift. It's a huge area of the main building, incredibly dirty with dirt everywhere after each crew, and it stays at a constant 30 degrees Celsius. I'd be sweating buckets each night, especially when I'm cleaning the showers, since the water I was using is hot water and the showers are in an enclosed space, so it gets humid very quickly. There's 4 of them in total. In total, it'd take me about 6 hours every night to clean it. But that's only a third of the job, and the dry takes place on the 2nd floor of the main building. I had the entire main floor to clean, and the main floor itself is a 12-hour job to properly clean in a 12-hour shift. As you may have figured, it's humanly impossible for a single individual to clean the entire dry and main floor for each and every single night. I've relayed this to my supervisor, who we'll call Awesome Boss, who simply told me to just do the best I can, as their contract with the mine won't allow them to hire a second night shift janitor, something about a fixed amount of money agreed on their contract. I managed to come up with a routine that'll allow me to do the bare minimum of cleaning for each room while simultaneously set aside days to allow myself to do a full cleanup of certain areas, as well as use my experience as a security guard to document everything I've done and timestamp when I've done them, including my break times, and that seemed to work for the mine management and AB, but not Stickman. Stickman had made it his personal goal every morning to walk around the main floor and then hunt me down to complain about every single thing that I didn't have time to do. He'll complain to me about things like bottom fill in a large garbage can, dust on the desks, sand on the carpets, offices that were not done due to lack of time, and other things that would eventually get done on the nights I set aside to do. On some mornings, he'd get right in my face about it too. Needless to say, it had put a lot of unnecessary stress on me on top of what I already have, working what is essentially a two-man job. Stickman would also complain to AB, and AB would dismiss Stickman's claims and supported me and my documented notes as evidence. Regardless, I was a sensitive, non-confrontational soul back then, and I took Stickman's harsh criticisms personally, which made me break into tears one morning after one of my shifts after Stickman lost it on me and got in my face. Eventually, despite AB's dismissals and my documentations, he even badmouthed me to his coworkers, to which eventually they even started to approach me to get things I didn't have time to do done. They eventually stopped after I broke everything down with them step by step and backed everything up with my notes. But still, it made everything I don't enjoy about my job even less enjoyable thanks to Stickman. This is the part of the story where I'd like to add a new player into the mix, whom I'm going to refer to as Sarah. I swear, she's important to the story. Another tidbit of background info, Sarah's one of the security guards who works the night shift. I would give the guards special treatment during the nights. As they work, they got a lot of foot traffic, especially during the day, and a lot of foot traffic means a lot of sand. And they'd make a lot of garbage since these guards are stationed in their office 24/7, so I clean up the area and garbage for them every night so they can have a clean environment to work in. I often chat with the guards while I clean, and Sarah was one of them. I told them about Stickman and his verbal abuse toward me, and Sarah was the one who saw it firsthand how Stickman was treating me. As for why I'm calling her Sarah is because she had a larger-than-average, adorable cat. Larger than average, as in he's just a bigger than your average house cat, not obese. Fast forward a bit, and AB finally put me on day shift on the opposite rotation of Stickman. It was then that my female coworkers realized that I wasn't at all like what Stickman painted me to be, and in fact I was a better and harder working person than Stickman. It was then I began hearing some interesting things about Stickman from the women he worked with, such as keeping a secret stash of cleaning supplies, which explains why I sometimes start shifts with less cleaning supplies than I normally get, mixing bleach and another cleaning product which essentially creates tear gas, which is a huge no-no in mine policy/safety, and our WIM safety training highly advises against mixing chemicals. Secretly sleeping on the job, smoking in a non-designated smoking area, which is both illegal and against mine policy, and of course showing favoritism to the opposite gender. I relayed what I'd heard from the girls to AB, but AB said that without hard evidence or documentation of these occurrences, there's nothing he can do. That was until the company had hired a new young female cleaner. She was a hard worker and was immediately paired with Stickman to train as his new partner. We'll call her Bubbles due to her bubbly and energetic personality. Stickman was given the task to train Bubbles on waxing floors, as he's the only one who knows how to strip the old wax and put new wax on the floor. He never trained me since we don't get along. Now, in order to strip the old wax off the floors, you need a special chemical to strip away the old wax. However, the chemical in question is very corrosive and can severely burn skin on contact. Stickman knew this, but decided to proceed with the process of stripping the old wax without PPE, personal protective equipment, despite risks. Worst case scenario happened, and Bubbles received a nasty chemical burn that got her hospitalized for chemical burn treatment. Bubbles recovered, thankfully, however, her knees were covered in scars that will never heal. Stickman, however, was written up for this incident. Just so you know, in order for someone to be terminated without legal repercussions, the employee must be written up at least 3 times before they're terminated. This is strike 1 for Stickman. Here's strike 2. We'd hired a new guy whom we'll refer to as New Guy. One of the female janitors volunteered to train New Guy, and Stickman was temporarily placed as night shift. He absolutely hated it and had to use every ounce of being not to gloat at him in a I effing told you it was impossible kind of way, but the look of pure displeasure on his face was enough for me. One day, Stickman blamed New Guy for something that he didn't do and got right in his face and yelled at him with eyewitnesses nearby. New guy had kept his cool and let Stickman finish his tirade before taking himself and his eyewitnesses to AB and then promptly quit soon after. Stickman received his second write-up and a stern verbal warning from AB. The third and final nail in the coffin came from Sarah. It was during the time when I was needed to work the night shift and Stickman and Bubbles were together waxing the floors, with the appropriate PPE, of course. Stickman was once again verbally hostile towards me, and Sarah witnessed the hostility towards me. I cannot say for certain if it made her blood boil, but it was enough for her to decide that Stickman had to go. She then waited for a window of opportunity for Stickman to once again screw up, and screw up big time Stickman did. As I previously mentioned, he had been smoking in undesignated areas, but the undesignated area I hadn't referred to specifically was the mechanic shop. The mechanic shop was in a separate building apart from the main building, and Sarah was waiting for an opportunity for Stickman to go for his smoke break, and sure enough, she saw her opportunity when Stickman left with Bubbles to go to the maintenance shop. She grabbed her company-provided camera and followed Stickman to the maintenance shop and snapped the photograph with Stickman caught red-handed smoking in the shop. Stickman had noticed Sarah taking the damning photograph and pleaded with Sarah not to report him. Sarah ignored his pleas and filed the photograph in her incident report. Stickman was immediately let go the following day. Last time I heard from Stickman was that he tried to collect money for severance pay but was promptly denied due to the overwhelming evidence against him, and he'd also applied to a cleaning company that was our competitor at the time but was promptly refused and forced to go on employment insurance. Good riddance, I say. I don't understand how Stickman wasn't immediately fired for the Bubbles debacle. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.